Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Return of the Living Dead Necropolis. Right off the bat, I just want to let you all know I was not a fan of this movie whatsoever. I went in with no preconceived notions. I didn't go in like wanting to hate this movie or anything. I think the general consensus is that a lot of people do not like this movie. I knew it was a made-for-TV sequel. I believe the first three were all released theatrically, and then this one and the fifth one both aired on TV on the Sci-Fi Channel. So I knew it wasn't gonna have as big of a budget as the first three. But like I said in other videos, you know, with a lot of big horror franchises start as theatrical movies, and then a lot of the later sequels do go direct to DVD or direct to TV. And there's quite a few. I'm not a hater of direct, made for TV movies or direct to DVD movies. There's quite a few that I actually really enjoy. There's quite a few Sci-Fi Channel movies that I actually enjoy. Well, maybe not quite a few. I'm not super well versed on Sci-Fi Channel movies, but there's this one sci-fi original movie called Frankenfish. It's a creature feature. It's about what is the fish called? I forgot. Well, the nickname of the fish. It's a real fish. It's a nicknamed Frankenfish. I totally am blanking about what the actual fish is called, but I'm pretty sure it can walk on land for a period of time, which sounds like I'm just totally delusional and making that up, but it's I thought it was fake when I read it, but it's a real fish. But anyways, that's a really fun creature feature. I like that movie. And then there's quite a few sequels to big horror franchises that Sci-Fi does. They did Pumpkinhead 4, which I thought was pretty decent, and then they did Leprechaun Returns, which was pretty decent as well. Like the sci-fi original movies, I like a little bit more than the sequels that they do for big franchises. But the sequels that they do for big franchises, like I said, there's a couple that I like. They're not my favorite movies ever, but I think they're pretty serviceable. I think it's cool that the Sci-Fi Channel does that. Like even now they're doing the Chucky show, which I haven't seen, but it's cool that they're putting out new movies for horror properties. It's cool that they put out Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5. Sci-Fi holds it down for horror fans, honestly. So most of them, they're not the best movies ever, but I mean they're made for TV movies. They're lower budget than their predecessors that had theatrical releases. So I think it's really cool that Sci-Fi holds it down like that, and gives us all these sequels that we otherwise wouldn't get. So yeah, I just went off on a tangent there, but I was just saying, yeah, I didn't like prejudge this movie because it's a made-for-TV movie. I just gave it a shot, and I just was not a fan. It was just so generic. It was boring. The characters were not likable at all. And when it did get into the action with the zombies, it was just whatever. Like it picked up a little bit in the third act when there was more action, when there was more zombies on screen. But I mean, this could be due to the budget, but the zombie makeup in this was good. It was by no means bad, but I feel like there wasn't a variety of zombies. I feel like in all the previous entries, there's a zombie where like his spine is ripped off, or his face is melted, or he's all distorted looking, blah blah blah. In this movie, all the zombies pretty much looked the same. There wasn't any crazy character design. There was two zombies that had a really really cool character design. They're this guy's parents. I'm just I'm gonna get into the plot, because if I say that without giving a little plot synopsis, it probably won't make as much sense. So the basic plot of this movie is you're following this group of high schoolers, and the main guy that we're following, his parents passed away in this experiment for this company called Hybridtech. They're a technology company, and we find out later that they're not just a technology company, they're, you know, doing all these crazy experiments. I think they're, somehow like the government is funding their experiments, something like that. But anyways, this kid's parents die in an experiment. He's living with his uncle. The uncle actually works for Hybridtech, and he's, he turns out to be a bad guy. So later on in the movie, this kid, him and all his friends, they just like ride dirt bikes around town and go off crazy jumps, which that I thought was really cool. There was like quite a few sequences where they're all like riding dirt bikes on the highway, they're riding dirt bikes through the woods, they're popping wheelies. This one sequence where they're like going over this jump was really sick. They're getting like air. All the, dirt bike gear was really sick. So yeah, one of the friends gets in this dirt bike accident, and they go to see him in the hospital, and they're like, yeah, he's dead. And it was just, he just had a concussion. Like it wasn't like he totally wiped out. It was like when he like landed from the ramp, he just landed weird and bumped his head. So they're like, no way, he's dead. So they find out that one way or another, they see this footage of him being wheeled into, because this one girl in their friend group works for Hydrotech. She works security, and that's how they see this footage. She sees this footage of their friend Zeke, who hit his head, being wheeled in on a gurney, and they're like, what the heck? So they know he's not dead. The hospital said he's dead, and then they're seeing that he's being wheeled in to Hydrotech, so they're like, there's something fishy going on here. So this one guy is a hacker. He hacks in. He finds out, he finds his friend's name, that he was in fact admitted to Hydrotech. So then they go rescue him. One thing leads to another. All the zombies get loose, and then they're fighting all the zombies. And the main guy whose parents died, it turns out his parents didn't die. They were actually transformed into these, they call them like Uber soldiers, which it made me think of Uber Jason. Shouts out to Uber Jason. Shouts out to Jason X. Quality film. I know people hate that one, but that's one of my favorites. I love Jason X. But anyways, his parents are transformed into these Uber soldiers, and that's why I got into the plot, because I was like, if I just talked about his parents being these Uber soldiers, it wouldn't really make sense. But anyways, that was actually one of the few things that I did like about this movie, is, like I said, most of the zombies in this looked a lot more generic compared to the other movies, but this dude's parents, these Uber zombies, Uber soldiers, whatever, oh my goodness, the character design was so cool. His dad, for hands, he had 2 miniguns, and he was just spraying fools. And they almost had like, well, his mom for sure had like these mechanical dreadlocks basically, and she had this razor blade hand. They were so cool, and that's the thing too. But like, it was like, once they came on screen, I was all hyped up. I'm like, okay, let's go. This is starting to get cool. And then they just, like, all the kids, they just take them out like no problem. Like the whole third act, I feel like they were just able to like win too easily. I mean, quite a few of the people in the group of friends died, but I don't know. I feel like it didn't feel like there was like a real struggle. I don't know. Like initially they just like throw a grenade at the dad, and then he pretty much dies, but then he comes back. But it's like, I just feel like they took him out. Like it was like, if you're looking at it in video game terms, like that was the boss battle. That was the final boss, and they just took him out so quickly. So that I didn't like. I'm just checking my notes here. I'm gonna get into some of my likes. Yeah, this I do like the opening. The opening I was like amped because I thought, I'm like, here we go. This is gonna be pretty good. So I don't know what exactly you would call it. I'm just gonna call it a PSA. So there was this PSA for Hydra Tech, and it was like, we protect against the zombie outbreaks. There hasn't been a zombie outbreak in 10 years. I'm paraphrasing. I forgot exactly what it said, but it was this hilarious PSA. Like, it just seemed like something that would be in some dystopian future where it's like this, I don't know, it's just this like evil corporation there, and then it's like in this weird universe where there's a zombie outbreak, but they contained it and blah blah blah. It was so out there, and it was so unrealistic. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it was like something that would it was something that would never, happen in real. It was like a real thing, like a company would put out a PSA, but then it had this twist where it had all this, we'll protect you from the zombie outbreak. There hasn't been a zombie outbreak. We care about you as our customer. And it was really funny, but at the same time it was like really dark, and that I really liked, and it kind of set the tone, but the rest of the movie didn't follow that tone. That's what I'm saying. There was not that much comedy in this. There was a couple comedic moments, and they were really good, but there were like so few. I was like, the couple comedic moments were good. Why wasn't there more comedy in this? So yeah, there's this one instance where this so the girl who works there, she's calling up this other security guard, and he's kind of being flirty and trying to like talk dirty with her, and she's like, oh my goodness. So he gets attacked by zombies, and he's making all these like groaning noises, and he was just talking dirty. He's kind of a creepster, and she hears these groaning noises, so she's like, oh, you're sick, why are you doing that? Like, she totally thought homeboy was beating his meat. So I was smiling at that. I thought that was a hilarious line. Let me see here. Actually, I'm not even going into other funny moments. I'm just going to talk more about likes. There was this, a callback to the first movie. So in the first movie, there's the one zombie says, send more cops. The other zombie says, send more paramedics. So after they take out the security guard, a zombie gets on the phone. He says, send more security guards. And when I heard that, I'm like, yes, I love callbacks like that. Some people might not like them and think they're cheap, but I love that little, when little connectivity, when it, connects. It's like, oh, I remember that, whatever. I mean, if you do it too much, it's annoying. Some newer movies do it too much where it's like, remember this, remember that. But if it's done sparingly, I definitely like that. So that was cool. What else? Yeah, I like there's a sequence in this main lobby where 3 of the main characters are just like, there's like 2 stairways, and there's all these zombies coming out, and all these dudes are strapped up, and they're just shooting all the zombies like crazy, and the one guy's like, I'm out of ammo, blah blah blah. And just when I was watching it, I'm a big fan. I don't really play as many video games these days, but I was always a big fan of all the zombies, like all the Call of Duty zombies games. I haven't played that many of the newer ones, but the first Black Ops 2, I really like those games. So I really like Call of Duty Zombies, so that sequence just reminded me of that, so I thought that was cool. I'm going to get into some WTF moments here. That's how I wrote it down. So yeah, I've probably been, my camera doesn't have a timer. This is just like a camcorder, so I'm not able to see the time, but I feel like I've been talking about this movie for a super long time, which is funny because I didn't even like it that much. This is probably longer than videos that I've done for movies that I actually like, but I don't know, I guess I have a lot to talk about. But anyways, the WTF moment is in the beginning. They're in class, and there's this. They do a close up on this girl, and the dude behind her in the background has the thickest unibrow I've ever seen in my life. So I have to pluck my unibrow once in a while. Sometimes it gets out of hand. I feel like everyone has a little unibrow action going on, but this dude, like, the term unibrow, like, he actually only had one eyebrow. Like, it was the thickest unibrow. Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, why would they select that extra to be directly behind her for the close-up? Like, was that an inside joke? Was that a fake eyebrow? Was that his real unibrow? Why doesn't he shave it? I'm not hating. If that's his style and he likes it, more power to him. But I was like, what the heck, dude? I was laughing, I was like, this is hilarious. I love that, like, the unintentionally funny stuff. That was great. So, yeah, a couple other WTF moments are this one guy. So, well, I'm just going to say this other WTF moment before I say that one because they're related. So, they're supposed to be high schoolers, and then right when it's super convenient for the plot, right when zombies first start showing up, homeboy just whips out a gun. Like, dude, what are you supposed to be, 16 years old? How'd you get the gun? What, you didn't buy it? Would you, like, take your dad's gun? Like, he doesn't keep it locked up? I was like, that's just so convenient that right when the zombies come, he has a gun. Why does this 17-year-old kid have a gun? I don't know. And then, so that guy has a gun, and then the other guy's like, wait, man. Like, there's one more zombie left. He's like, you know what? Wait. You don't even need to shoot the zombie. Let me handle this. So he takes out his nunchucks, and then he's like going at the zombie with the nunchucks, and of course it's doing nothing. So then they just end up shooting him. Like, what was the point of that? Like, dude, like, are you really that? And then it doesn't make sense, because how are you that? This character, he was the guy who he got into some really good college in the beginning. They're like, yeah, I got into the university. It was called FU, like something F University, and yeah, the initials were FU. So I thought that was funny. But he's the hacker character. He's supposed to be really smart. He got into some good college, and then how are you gonna be this smart hacker guy, but then be that dumb and try to go at some zombies with nunchucks when you have a gun right there? Just use the gun, dude. I don't know. That was dumb. And then another instance that was stupid like that is the main guy. He has a shotgun and he runs out of ammo, and then he just throws his shotgun at the zombie. Like, dude, what the heck are you thinking? Like, that's a good blunt force weapon. You could grab that, swing it like a baseball bat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just smash fools with that. He just throws it like it's not even a good throw. How are you gonna, this is not even aerodynamic. It's not like a baseball. Like, you're gonna throw an entire shotgun at a zombie. What is that gonna do? You could have just grabbed it and just hit fools like a baseball bat. So, I mean, so many WTF moments, but it was good because it was like unintentionally funny, and I was just, those were some of the only fun moments I had in this movie, where it was just like the stupid moments and I was laughing at it. But what else do we have here? Yeah, that's pretty much it for the WTF moments, and I really went over everything that I wanted to say. So I know that's kind of an abrupt stop. I was just like going from 100 back to 0, but what are you gonna do? I guess I said everything about the movie. Those were all my thoughts. So, would I recommend this movie? I would not recommend this. I haven't seen the 5th one yet. I'm gonna check that one out eventually, and probably do a review for it. I don't want to say now like when it's gonna come out. I don't know, but I mean, I'll I've already done, you know, most of the sequels, so I'm gonna finish the series. So I don't know what the deal with that one is. If it's as bad as this one, better, worse. But oh yeah, that made me think. I know I was just gonna cut off the video, but there was one more thing that I want to say. The weird thing about this franchise that I noticed is, so, you know, that's the thing with sequels, where most of the time sequels are not as good as the original movie, you know, and then most of the time as sequels go on, they get worse and worse. But it's not always like perfectly gradual. It's not like the first one's the best, the second one's second best, the third one's third best. It's like weird. Like a lot of franchises, like maybe the second one's really good. Like some franchises, I like the second movie better than the first movie, or some franchises I might not like the second movie, but I love the fourth movie. This franchise, like each movie, I've liked a little bit less. So like the first movie, I liked the best. Second movie was good, not as good as the first. Third movie was okay, and then this movie I did not like. So I just thought that was just something that I noticed, and it was kind of interesting that like the quality, you know, kind of went down so gradually. But I'm just saying that, like, objectively, I love sequels. I'm like a sucker for sequels. I mean, if you see, I got DVDs in the back. I have like all kinds of box sets. I'm a sucker for franchises. I watch every. Most of the time I'll check out every sequel. So I'm not hating, but that is most true most of the time, where sequels get gradually. What the heck is wrong with my throat? Where sequels get gradually worse, and then usually the sequels are not as good as the first movie. So yeah, I guess I did have one more thing to talk about. I was just thinking that when I was watching it, and as I've been watching these movies. So that was the last thing that I really wanted to talk about. I've hit everything I want to talk about. I would definitely not recommend this. Stick to the first three. I don't know. I really did not have that much fun with this. So yeah, I would say don't check it out. But hey, do whatever the F you want to do. If you want to watch them all like me and be a completist, I guess watch it then. I don't know. Who even care? I'm just some guy on YouTube. Who cares about my opinion? I'm just having fun hopping on here talking about some movies. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Peace out.